What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. This is episode number 74, and we're starting today's stuff on the back of our win over Inter with 5 games remaining in the Bundesliga, and as you can see, we are currently 12 points away from setting the points record. So on the back of our draw in our last league game in the Bundesliga, our first slip-up in, I believe, 24 attempts in the Bundesliga after the longest winning run in Arminia Bielefeld history, and my longest winning run in this year's FIFA. Domestically, of course, because we had slip-ups in the Champions League to AC Milan. We head into this game against Freiburg, as we know now, with 5 games to go, knowing that 4 wins in 5, we can afford to lose one more time, and we will set a new points record. And as we know, we're going for the treble as well. We've got the DFB Pokal semi-final that comes in the second game of today's episode against Eintracht Frankfurt. We've now got Manchester City in the Champions League semi-finals, which does of course mean our treble dreams have definitely taken a knock. And I was thinking, heading into the game, what would I prefer if I can only choose the one, which is very likely a treble or a new points record? And I thought, well, do you know what? I've set, I've won trebles quite a few times, but setting a new points record in the Bundesliga is something I've never done before. So, heading into this game against Freiburg, even with the DFB Pokal semi-final in midweek, I didn't think, do you know what? We've won the title. I can afford to rest players ahead of the cup game. Nope, I was going to pick my strongest lineup for this game, and I wanted a big win to get back on track in the Bundesliga after our draw at the Allianz. And what a start as well. Already so early into the game in the first 10 minutes, Nordi Mukiele, who's been an amazing signing from Bayern Munich this season, made it 1-0 and scored his, well, technically his first goal of the season, but as we know, it should have been his second, because of course he scored one early this campaign, which is wrongly taken off him and given as an own goal. But Freiburg would battle back, which, I'll be honest, surprised me, because with no disrespect to Freiburg, we thrashed them 8-0 in the DFB Pokal early this season for my biggest win in FIFA 22. But not only did they find their leveller soon after we took the lead, but 18 minutes in, they had the goal to get in front against a run of play. And 20 minutes into the game, I found myself in unfamiliar territory, trailing in a game here in the Bundesliga for, I believe, just the 3rd time all season long. Freiburg got themselves in front, coming from a goal behind. I was thinking, okay, alright, I'm not going to panic. We've been the better team in the first 20 minutes. They've just got a snatch and grab lead here. It's okay. I'm sure we'll get back in front not before long after we find a leveller. And 31 minutes in, we had a chance for that leveller, which I spurned. Theodor Hubner firing wide as we were still trailing by a goal at the break. And I wasn't panicking because I was getting chances. I just knew at some point I'd have to be more clinical, because the chances were getting created, but the finishing touch just wasn't there. Jack Butler now at Freiburg made a great save. A great block here from the following corner. Kept it at 2-1. Out 25 minutes to go. We were still down by a goal. And then we saw this. Stefan made a massive, massive save to keep us only down by 1. And in the run-up to the stop, you might have noticed it, but it happened so quickly. Dardai went in for a 50-50 duel and came off worse. When it rains, it pours in FIFA, as we know. And Dardai, our highest rated player at 89 overall, taken down, awkward landing, stays down as Piper kicked him on the way down, and is forced off. So 24 minutes to go. Not only are we down to Freiburg and facing just our 2nd loss of the season, but we've also lost our leader in the back line and our highest rated player in Dardai. And Jack Butland was turning into, well, Jack Butland before his form started to deteriorate significantly. We were still down by a goal with 5 minutes to go, and I could not beat the former Crystal Palace shot stopper and, of course, Stoke City shot stopper. We were still down by a goal, and I was pushing, I was pressing, I was looking for a goal to find the leveller. Could not afford to lose this game with 4 remaining afterwards. I mean, yes, technically we can afford to, but this was not the game. I wanted to let it slip. And right towards the end, with 5 minutes to go in a game where I'd absolutely dominated, we finally had that deserved levelling goal. Jamie Llewellyn smacking it in for his 25th of the season with 3 minutes on the clock. And I was thinking, blushes spared. Blushes spared, because we could afford another loss, but I didn't want it to come away against Freiburg, a side who this season are beaten 8-0. We finally had the goal to get back on level terms, and in stoppage time with one final chance, Florian Neuhaus rolls it through to Vlasic, offloads to Becker, Becker through to Robin Hack, and with the final kick of the game, Robin Hack wins it, and I'll tell you, my heart was in my mouth in that build-up there. I was gripping the controller so tightly thinking, just don't misplace the pass, because I know there's going to be a free man on the left-hand side, and it was Robin Hack with goal number 13 this season, wins us the game with the final kick as we come back to beat Freiburg with just 4 minutes of normal time to play, scored a leveller through Llewellyn, and then Hack with the dagger at the death. Oh my goodness. And this is why, and I talk about it a lot, you should never, ever, ever give up when you're chasing a game late on. And look at the stats here. 19 shots. The XG was 7.9. Freiburg had 3 shots and scored with 2 of them. 7.9 XG with 19 shots. Yep, absolutely ridiculous game. But we did manage to get the breakthrough for the leveller and the winner. But the bad news in all of that was that Dardai did indeed do his ACL, and I wasn't one bit surprised. I normally get one ACL a season. We haven't had one this year, and Dardai is now done for the rest of the campaign and the calendar year as well. Dardai done, and that is gutting because he's been a leader in the backline this year, 89 overall. He's been sublime. But what I'm going to do is do something quite interesting here. I'm not going to put Kara in to our starting back four, but instead I'm going to reinsert Felix Agu into our starting lineup at right back. And for Nordi Mukiele, who scored our first goal in that game against Freiburg, I'm going to convert him to centre-half. And if you remember when I signed Mukiele at the start of the season, I debated doing this. I debated changing him to a centre-half. In the end, I decided to keep him at right back. There's no doubt about it with the assists he's got this season. He's obviously been a brilliant fullback in this team. Having said that, when you look at the range of stats this guy's got, I actually think centre-back is his best position. Like, defensively, he's really, really strong. Defensively, really sound. He's got medium-high work rates as well, which on a fullback nowadays is actually quite a rarity. Most fullbacks now, as we know, are wing-backs. And, of course, they love to attack, love to go forward. And they're more offensive-based players. You know that old saying, like, modern-day fullbacks, modern-day wing-backs, they're failed wingers, if you will. That's what a lot of people would say about fullbacks and wing-backs nowadays, because they're so offensive-based, as they need to be nowadays in modern day football. But even so, for me, Mukiele is like an old school fullback with the range of stats he's got, I should say. So at the start of the season, I debated turning him into a centre half. I decided not to do that and kept him at right back. But now, due to the injury to Dardai, I think it's probably the right decision to do, because obviously Felix Agu is 2 ratings higher than Tyler Kara. So if we're going off rating alone, this is the best decision for us. But it does mean that Mukiele will need to learn, well, not technically learn a new position, because that is his secondary position, and it'll only take him 2 weeks to become a centre-half. I would actually probably say he's probably more better suited to centre-backs. He might become even better as centre-back than right-back, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Even so, for the second game on the back of that crazy win against Freiburg, we would take on Eintracht Frankfurt in the DFB Pokal semi-final. And I've got to be honest here, coming to this game, I was out of breath. I was thinking, goodness, after that ridiculous late drama and late heroic win away against Freiburg, how am I going to concentrate on this? The DFB Pokal semi-final against Eintracht Frankfurt, where we're still chasing not just the points record, but the treble as well. Heading into the game, we would fall behind as Frankfurt will take a shock lead, but we responded soon after with 2 fan favourites getting the goals. Messiah Okugawa giving us the leveller, and then Marco Ludwig at the academy making it 2-1 as we led for the first time on the night at the Schuka Arena. And you saw my lineup as well. It was a mixture of first 11 and bench players for this game, because even though we are chasing the treble, I mentioned at the start of today's episode, what I would prefer is the points record, if I'm being honest, because whilst in the DFB Pokal we've never got to this stage before, we've never got to the Olympia Stadion before in the final, I would still rather the points record. If I had to sacrifice one trophy, it would still be the DFB Pokal. I'd rather set a points record in the Bundesliga and go out of the DFB Pokal in the semis, if you will, even though it sacrifices the chance to treble, because I've never set a points record in the Bundesliga before. But there is still a chance I could do both, and I know it's going to be tough to withstand that pressure. But in this game, despite falling down by a goal, we would respond. First Okugawa, then Ludwig, and then Karim Adeyemi, who has just been sensational this season, makes it 3-1 with a diving header to give us a 2-goal cushion. And Ludwig in this game, the skills I was doing with Marco was crazy, man. Almost scored a sensational goal, 20 minutes to go, unfortunately. Fired it onto the post, but even so, would not matter that we couldn't find a fourth. We held on for the win, and there it is. We are into the cup final for the first time all series long, and I've struggled mightily in this competition since the save began. As we know, the furthest we got was the quarterfinals heading into this season, but the board asked us to win it this year for the first time ever, asking us to win this competition. I was targeting a semi-final or final place initially before the season began, but now we've got to the final. The treble dreams remain alive, but I'd say we're facing one of the strongest teams we could face. RB Leipzig came through Bayer Leverkusen at the Bayer Arena. We'll take them on in the DFB Pokal final. And it's kind of fitting too, because we've had some incredible battles with Leipzig for different things over the course of this series. First, for Champions League football back in Season 2. Then last season for the title. And now this season for the DFB Pokal. Leipzig have been a pretty cool rival for us as we're chasing honours and European qualification with them throughout the course of this series. We'll take them on DFB Pokal final at the end of the season at the Olympiastadion, so our treble dreams remain alive. But as I know, it's going to be so hard to pull it off. Not just beat Leipzig in the final, but take out Man City in the Champions League semi-finals as well. But before we take on Pep Guardiola's side in midweek, this will be our final game of the Bundesliga before them. And it was Borussia Mönchengladbach at the Stuttgart Arena. And after just about coming through Freiburg with those late goals away from home, I gotta say, I was pretty nervous heading into the game. We drew against Bayern, then we escaped against Freiburg, and now taking on what were our original series rivals, Mönchengladbach at home, who are desperate for points in the relegation playoff place right now in 16th. I gotta say, I was nervous, and it was showing. 21 minutes in a game which, statistically and based on form, you'd probably say should be a banker. We were 2-0 down. Haven't lost at the Stuttgart Arena all season long. And I was having a mare in the first half. I was all over the place. I don't know really why it was. Again, psychologically, I think it was the main issue because obviously, you know, physically, fatigue, big, heavy run of fixture congestion for us, no doubt about that. But I always tend to manage my players' stamina really well in FIFA CM, as you'll see with my team lineups. But I think psychologically, more than anything, I was just really fearful heading into the game. And I was missing easy chances as well. 3 minutes after the restart, still down by 2. Llewellyn rolls through Nikola Vlasic, and somehow I didn't even hit the target. Fired it wide, and this reaction said it all. 2-0 down, I was thinking this is going to be our first defeat of the Stuttgart this season, because I am all over the place. I was getting chances though. My problem was that I just couldn't take them. With half an hour to go, I needed to get back in the game, and we would. Jamie Llewellyn's 26th goal in the Bundesliga this season, after sent through 1-1, did put us back in the game, half the deficit, and make it 2-1. And after that, I thought, right, think back to what happened in the game against Freiburg. We were trailing by a goal with 5 minutes to go, and we ended up winning it. Why can't we do it with half an hour to go here against Mönchengladbach? We cut the deficit to 1. It's 2-1 on the day, and I was thinking, right, stay in attack mode because we're getting chances in the second half. Just be more clinical, and we'll get the 3 points. And with 20 minutes to go, 10 minutes later, once again, how many times has he bailed me out? Theo chips it into the middle. Jamie heads in for his brace. It's 2-2, and I had 20 minutes to find a winning goal, which I could not do. Yep, after that I kind of ran out of steam, ran out of legs. We got Man City in the week, and this was not how I wanted to head into the first leg of the game against Pep Guardiola's side. Quite a poor performance, all things considered. A 2-2 draw. We drew against Bayern, we escaped against Freiburg, and we only managed a point against a struggling Mönchengladbach side at home. There's no doubt about it now. I am buckling under the pressure, chasing that points record. There are 3 games to go, and I've got to win 2 of them and draw the other, or have 3 straight wins. Cannot afford a loss. Almost had it there against Mönchengladbach, but as you can see, 3 games to go. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't know if I can do this and chase the treble as well. But that will end today's episode of the Bundesliga Career, guys. Big thank you for enjoying it. If you haven't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next episode featuring both legs of our Champions League semi against Manchester City. Man, oh man. Not looking forward to that. Very soon.